Now, okay, then I would start presenting, start the slideshow. Okay, all right, you can see my screen fine and good.
Yep.
Good, awesome. Again, welcome everyone to number 6 meetup for Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Thank you all for joining, taking the time to join in on this event or this meetup virtual event on a Saturday, wherever you're located. Really appreciate this. It's going to be a quick an hour and 15-minute ish meeting. We're going to keep it straight to the point. We have one presenter, just one presentation, and there's going to be questions and answers and announcements afterwards, and it's going to be bye-bye. In the meantime, again, thank you all for joining. Sit down, relax, and we have an awesome presenter waiting to share. In the meantime, I'm just going to give some community update. I'll first of all start by introducing myself. Again, my name is Mana. Some of you on the call already know me, but a quick background about myself. I used to be training for an optometrist way back, I don't know, like 10, 13 years ago ish. Back in my home country, Nigeria, that's where I'm from. Before I came into Canada in 2010, but it's been great so far. I'm currently certified architect, MuleSoft architect, as well as a solution architect at EPAM, one of the co-organizers in Meetup. And a quick, fun fact about me is that I guess the fun fact, I play basketball and soccer, but my favorite team in basketball land is Golden State Warriors. So if you're a Warriors fan, see me after. Um, and as well, I'm a FC Barcelona fan. I I'm a huge fan of La Liga. Not really into Premiership for those who are conversant with soccer, but that's it about me. A quick community update. Again, we really this meetup isn't possible without obviously the audience as well as the person who is going to be speaking, right? And this goes for other meetups that have been held virtually worldwide. The speaker is, we encourage developers, architects, business analysts, project managers in the API or MuleSoft ecosystem to share their knowledge and share their ideas. And one good way to do that is through this forum as a meetup. And yeah, there is a link here. If you go to meetups.mulesoft.com, speak at a MuleSoft meetup. If you just Google that, speaking at a MuleSoft meetup, you would find this there. And this is what it looks like. If you want to be the next speaker, we really encourage that. Um, as you can see here, you can just put in Winnipeg, your name, phone number, and all that details, including the details of your talk. And this could be anything around MuleSoft or just user stories, use cases, challenges that you faced, and how you overcome that. That will be really helpful for the community. Again, share your knowledge, and as you know, there's some perks to being a speaker at any MuleSoft meetup, and one of which is obviously you're building your reputation, you're getting that recognition in the code in the MuleSoft community and the entire MuleSoft community. I mean, worldwide, pretty much, uh, as well as you get an opportunity to get some free training, MuleSoft training, as well as certification exam vouchers. So again, these are really good perks for being a speaker. Again, I encourage you to, if you've thought about it or if you're thinking about it, again, there is no right and wrong speaker. Everybody's welcome. Having said that, I just wanted to pass this along. There's this event coming up shortly. I think the June 30th is the one happening in America. It's API days. And actually, I'm just going to stop this for a second and put the link on the chat just so, and for anybody who's interested in joining and sign up for that event. It's a free event. I think it's really, if I may, let me quickly show you what it looks like. Oops. Okay, here. Just drag it here. We have some Usoft leaders and meetup leaders also speaking at the event. It's everything pertaining to APIs, from not just MuleSoft. We have like a lot of integration platforms as well. So it's going to be a good virtual event to attend. And there's all kinds of stuff from architecture to development to, again, how different companies, leverage APIs and whatnot. So I encourage you to check it out. Moving on. Oops. Past this. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to have trivia questions and three winners per venture. Most of you already know this from other meetups, but for those who are just attending a meetup for the first time, there's always an opportunity for three winners to get some training vouchers and certification vouchers, I believe, for as a perk for attending the meetup. I just want to point everyone to the eligibility. Again, there's only one voucher per winner per month across all meetups. So if you previously won a voucher this month in June in a different meetup, you won't be eligible to participate. As well, meetup leaders are excluded from participating. Aside that, get ready for the questions. The questions will be asked towards the end of the presentation, I believe, and we'll be using an app called Kahoot. So further instructions will guide you on that. Okay, then we have our speaker here, Sadiq Ali, and he's a specialist in the industry and an integration specialist, 15 years of experience in this domain. He's a MuleSoft mentor. For those who are not familiar with the idea of a MuleSoft mentor, these are like high-end contributors to the MuleSoft ecosystem worldwide. He's also a meetup leader at two different cities, Montreal and Gurugram. He's as well Sadiq is also a content creator, and he's written different MuleSoft blogs as well as featured in a couple of videos, tutorial videos. So he's pretty much into the business of tutoring and helping folks get on board with MuleSoft, and we've been privileged to have him here to share his knowledge, as well as he's got multiple the blog post on MuleSoft has gotten multiple recognitions, and he has been featured as a speaker in over 25 different meetups. So just to let you know, you're all in good hands. All right. So I think without any further ado, we are ready for the presentation. Sadiq, are you?
Thanks, Manu. Sure, I'll share my screen.
Okay, so I'll just turn off my screen. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, just give me one.
Sure.
Um, Let me know if you're able to see me.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Thanks, guys, to joining this meetup. So, starting the presentation, what we have to do today to demonstrate here and to share our thoughts and approach in terms of the API connectivity and designing M unit that can be reused for API connectivity changes or integrations in existing platform. Okay, let me go to the slides. Yep. So this is a basically this meetup we are going to talk about straightforward the points. Uh, so you can ask any question if you have. Okay, in between, we'll definitely try to provide the answer of that. Okay. So generally, what we do does in the M unit, we mock the API, we investigate the components, integrations, messages, or we can replicate the component request and response with the help of the SPI processor, or we can debug the components behaviors. Okay, the general practices in M unit we follow to identify, to replicate, to mock the behavior of the integrations or integration flows. So we are not. I'm not going to talk about MUnit, how it works and how it supports in MuleSoft. Most probably, all of us know how it behaves. The main feature of the M unit to identify or to replicate the scenarios that we perform when you do our unit test cases. Okay, like the integrations platform or the APIs which we are going to communicate or we are going to integrate that is not existing or any expected changes in that API. So how we will track our M units? The best practices we follow in our architectural process or architectural programming, that the most of the test cases we should write in that format, that most of the test cases can be covered, most of the scenario can be covered, and even in the future planning, like any changes in the system or any changes in the API that can be accommodated in the existing test cases using any configuration changes. Okay, so you can see that API connectivity is the way that we segregate our logics, our integrations, or our data exposure layer. Uh, those layers need to be tested thoroughly with one or one to many, but in any changes in any layer should not lead developer or architect to design a new unit test cases or new test cases to validate the performances or to validate the behavior of those integrations. Okay, so how we tackle this thing? Let me talk about the behavior, the approach. Currently, if we design the M units, okay, we design the M units, and those M units is just assume that this is going to be experience API M unit. Okay, and this is communicating with the process API. Fine. And what happening here, the process API is not ready, or it's some changes is being performed. Okay, or not we cannot communicate with our local system or with the connectivity issues. So how do we replicate the scenario with our application? Okay, so what we are doing here, that definitely is the set event and the flow reference. We are calling the flow which we are going to test in our experience API. We call the mock application, mock components, and that mock component is going to call a flow that we have designed in our M unit sections, which we have as a downstream API. Okay, so this M unit can be written in the experience API and in the process API to evaluate how process API is behaving, or how the system API is behaving for the process API. Okay. Here, how it works. If you see the screen, we are triggering an event, and the event is goes to the flow, and then mock the experience API is requesting to the process API, which we have mocked. And as we there's a connectivity issue in our testing platform, so it will throw a exception. It will throw the control to the our API, which we have developed uh, to reproduce the scenario which we are expecting from the downstream API. Okay, this API, this flow will be thrown from the mock component, and then this flow will call to the downstream error flow. And here we are generating either error scenario from the downstream, which we want to evaluate in our experience API flow, or we can generate the actual success response, or the scenario based response which we are expecting in our experience API or the process API. Let me go to the demo straightforward. You can see I have created a management experience API. Okay, in the management experience API, you can see that it is just a RAML and nothing else. It's just responding a JSON objects. Okay, how it working right now? How I have implemented just for demo purpose, that it have flow reference. You can go here, and this experience API is making request to the process API, right? But in the future, what is happening here? The process API, how we can replicate the process API error behavior in the our platform? How we can see that it works properly, and if this response comes from the process API? Okay, so all the scenario in this demo, I'm going to demonstrate how API kit error codes, or STP verbs error codes, which are going to be reflected in our code from the process API, how we can handle, or how we can make it more configurable. Okay, let's go to the straightforward to the units. You can see here, we have designed I have designed a sample M unit. You can this is the this flow is referring to the flow reference. Okay, the API which we have, the resources which we have configured here. Okay, and it's just log. We just continue in case of the error thrown from the downstream API. Okay, this is the event. I am generating the payload or attribute, whichever I need to send to generate the event. Okay, here nothing is that, but what I'm doing here, I am reading, assigning few of the components, few of the variables to the property files. And where is this property file? This is the application property file where I am picking these values. Okay, you can see this is the property file error code. So if I assume that API kit scenarios, or API kit exceptions, like you can see here, the bad request not found, right? All this scenario I have configured over here, that I want to reproduce this scenario in my M units. Okay, so what I have done here, this configuration file is configured in the application. You can see here a sample I have configured here. Okay, this is the configured. So whenever the application is running, or test case is being executed, the property file data is being replicated in the environment. Okay, so this mock component I am replicating. Let me go here. I have to go here. Okay, this is the variable which I am creating variables in my events. Okay, So what I am trying to achieve here, this error codes, this variables is we are going to create a response from the downstream API using this error codes, and we are trying to evaluate that if this error code comes from the downstream API, then how our application will behave, how our expense API will behave. Just assume that this path is a process API is responding for 401. Okay, then our experience API also should respond back to the user 401, or based on the message or HTTP status, it should replicate in the our experience API. Okay, to synchronize the process structure, to the synchronize the behavior of the platform, the error which reflects from the downstream API should reflect in the upstream APIs as well. Okay, so I am assigning this with all three variables like error codes, HTTP status, and expected message. Okay, all three has been written from here itself. Okay, error codes, flow, message, HTTP status. Now, what's happening here? Uh, in the mock, if you see the request puppy, okay, if I go here, this is the component which I am mocking. Okay, as this communication is not being going to establish in from my system, because this API either in development or under enhancement. Okay, so what I will do, I write my unit to validate how my API behave if such kind of error comes from the downstream. Okay, now what is happening here, the API is not available, then my mock API will hand over the control to the this flow which I have developed to reproduce downstream API behavior. Okay, so what I have, you can see here, this API I have, this flow I have developed, which is being called from the mock components when any exception comes on the HTTP call for the process API. So when it comes here, you can see here the all the variables which I have assigned from the property file. I am sending as a query parameter. Definitely, you can use the header or URI parameter based on your comfortable. I am sending right now as a query parameter. It comes here, and what it does, it goes here and it raise exception, because what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to replicate the error from the downstream API. Okay, without even integration with the downstream API. Okay, so this thrown exception, it comes here. Now what I'm doing here, I'm creating a generic structure of the response from the downstream API, which we have agreed that this format of response will responded back to the API if downstream API is have any validation error. Okay, what I'm doing that, it's definitely correlation ID to track the request, and the HTTP status like 401 or something like that. Okay, or 400 or 501 based on the what we have decided, and this is the message. So all being picked from here itself. Okay, this is all being picked from here itself. Fine. Now what is happening here? Once it structured the response, this component will respond back to the mock component as the payload. Okay, now this will come, now it will move forward and reach to here valid success. What we are doing here, we are just asset equal of components we are using right now to compare the payload. As this payload we have received as a predefined structure JSON object. Okay, now we are creating the expected structure. Both structures should match. Okay, because we are expecting this structure is going to be responded back to the by the expense API if the downstream process API going to respond to the error validation. Okay, now this is the process. Okay, but what is the scenario? Like, if we expect that some more kind of exception, or right now you can see that such huge amount of error codes I have managed to demonstrate here. Okay, but in future the customer is there is a more changes going to come in the downstream API. They want to add some more error codes. You just have to add the error codes over here and then execute the process to validate that how it behaves, right? You can just change the error codes, you can change just the code messages, everything, and it will behave uh, the same as we expected for the rest of the error codes. The idea of this munits approach or configurable files which we are using right now, we are using as a configurable approach in the munit. Instead of writing munit multiple munits to reproduce or to validate the error codes, depends if any changes in the error codes, or depends on any enhancement in the downstream API or the existing API for the error codes. So this is the one munit which is going to tackle all the error codes. 5503, 5403, okay, 500, 406. All the error codes is going to be taken care by the um, this munit itself. Okay, so there is two approach in the API connectivity. One, to validate the downstream API error codes validation or writing the test cases, and second is that how the existing API or current API will behave in case the going to expose, or how the error codes will behave. Like if you see the other munits, let me, if you guys have any question, let me i'm not I'm not seeing my screen, so if you guys have any question, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm monitoring the chat for any questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you
Okay,
have any questions, guys, just put it on the
sure.
chat or in the Q&A section. There's a Q&A section there. I hope everybody can see that. You can just, add the questions there so we can kind of like separate the questions from, just a regular chat. If you ask your questions there at any time, then we would be able to answer that. Okay, Alexander, we have one question that just came in. It says, what component is looping through the YAML file to run all tests? I think
Okay.
when you mean the YAML file, I think probably means that error.
Uh-huh. Sure. I got your point. Um, this YML file, the components you have to configure in the munit configurations. Okay, you just have to go to the global area of the munit and configure it, and how it behaves. It trigger. It will provide the data every event being generated if by this in this munit. It's like let me explain you. Okay, uh, based on the input we are defining, right? We are defining one input, second, third, fourth, and fifth, or like that. Maybe just assume like we have 15 input. So this if this API is going to trigger 15 events to test every data which we have provided in this YML file. Okay, so so this is the feature is available in mule 4 itself, that it's provide the feature. We can provide the input, multiple input for the same munit test case to validate the data in the same munit. So we don't need to write multiple units or multiple events we have to generate, and we have to write multiple units and generate the events to validate every data. Okay, so we can use this approach that we can associate the values in the our property file, and based on this, because this is taken as a key, and rest of the value, rest of the elements or attributes of the key is being taken as a input data for this M unit. Okay, so what we are doing here, I'm assigning all this input in the variable. Okay, so once it's assigned to the variable, I'm going to use these variables across the M unit to validate the accept like to expected error message, and validate the expected message from the downstream APIs. Hope this answer your question. So the YML file is can be configured as a global section of the M unit, not on a specific component. Okay,
So
and mhm.
if I may ask, if what is the other way? Like, what would have been the normal way of doing this if you didn't use the configuration, like the parameterized error file, and having that hooked up in the munit configuration? Like, the regular way would have been to just create multiple test cases. Is that how it would have been?
Yes, generally, if you see to validate all the API kit router test cases,
Yeah.
usually we write multiple test cases to validate bad request to generate the out not found. So writing the multiple test cases is not
Hmm.
it's not, we are not reusing the one our logic we are implementing in M unit. So to avoid writing multiple M unit, and to provide the feature to the developer or architect to design the M unit that can be reused for the future changes as well.
Hmm.
Okay, so right, if I have designed this M unit, and I just assume that I have let me change it to this, just to hold on.
Sure.
Okay, let's assume that I do not have such error code right now. I have the right now I have only this error code to validate in my M unit, because the downstream API is only responding bad request.
Mm.
So I have designed this one, and I have provided only this error code to validate that if downstream API is responding me that error code, and how my API, how my flow will behave. Okay, but in future, if you see that if you see that this API, the downstream API is having more error codes. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's the approach is that we not required to write more similar M unit test cases to reproduce the newly added error codes. We can accommodate the changes in the our existing M codes, M units.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense. And I believe this would also be applicable to, like a 200 or a 201, 204 type thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We can
It
use the
is.
same approach.
Yeah, this is the just sample I'm showing here, that it is not for the error codes only. It can be simulate for the successful response, or the for scenario based response, or validation response. All can be replicated with the help of this approach. Okay. Um, any other question?
Would you like, I don't know if you already had this as part of the presentation, but sorry, as part of the demo, but would you be able to like run this, or?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I will run. First, I'm explaining the logic, how it works. Then I'll run the test cases.
Sure. Awesome.
Okay. So this is to validate downstream API behavior based on the parameters which where we are providing for the M unit from here. And second approach is that how to validate your API kit router error codes or exception handling um, for the a single m units. Like as I told that, let's assume that I have in the API I am receiving 200 response from downstream API, but in the 200 response, in case of 200 response error codes, I am receiving multiple kind of response. Sometime contact your customer care 200 response. This is successful transaction 200 response, or this inquiry is successful. We are receiving 200 error codes. So to validate all kind of messages in the m units, we can replicate like we can keep here 200 success response, 200 customer care response, 200 balance inquiry response. So all kind of scenario we can reproduce. So in case of API kit router test cases, like we have multiple API kit router, right, exception. So what we are doing here, the same approach we are following. Okay. Um, the same approach we are following, which we have followed for downstream API, we are following to validate our API kit router validation. The same we have provided the YAML file. Okay, you can see the same YAML file. Okay, the contents is same. Okay, and this we are the flow reference is the API main flow. Okay, this one. Okay, and this is to minute message we are picking from the property file which I have provided in global configuration, and then I am picking from the status code from the same from property file. Okay, now once I come here, let me extend it. You can see that the same approach I am following, uh, which I have followed for API connectivity. I am following for the API kit, for the downstream API and API kit both. Okay, you can see that the same approach I am picking the from variables, the status code which I have assigned from the property file and minute message and the correlation ID. Okay, so this is the API kit test cases. Instead of writing multiple API kit m units to validate all the error codes, we can use a single m unit to replicate all the error codes, or to validate all the error codes. Okay, any question before I run this test cases?
I did wanted to ask. I think it's more like just trying to understand if I got that correctly. So where you have the assertions, I see right now is just it's asserting okay and equals to scenario. So this must be equals to that. So I'd imagine that you can add. Oh, okay. You can add multiple validations to this data weave, or like how would that, like if you want to do like greater than or something, like a different flavor of assertion, where would you put that?
Yeah, definitely. See, based on your scenario or validation or expected response, definitely you can add everything, whichever conditions or scenario you want to add in data view. Right now, I am just validating that what I'm expecting and what my final response from the API.
Hmm.
This one I have generated using the m unit, and this one I am expecting this would be the my final response. So both should be equal. But if you're saying like greater than, equal to, less than, all scenario you can write down in the this data view section.
Hmm.
Okay.
And so the nice thing about this approach is that let's say you want to let's say there's a new error code, or
Yep.
in this case let's use error code. Let's say there was a new error code that the user is experiencing maybe from the downstream. Okay, let's say there's a new error code coming from the downstream APIs. You don't have to like, all you just have to do is add it to that YAML configuration file, and that should be good, right?
Right.
Correct. Okay. Cool.
Okay, like you can see here that most of the error codes, API kit error being generated automatically. But if you see this section I have added from my side, like I assume that, let's assume that this validation I am doing from my side to validate that expression, any expression error from the downstream, or the any stream size error from the downstream API, okay, or from the my API kit. So these error codes I have generated from my side to validate, like initially it was not there, but now the downstream API is responding this kind of error codes or this kind of exception. So I'm going to take care. I'm adding this section is being added here as well, and no changes in ammunit. I just need to add this expression section. Okay, I need to just add this expression section, and my test cases will work as expected.
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
okay. Let me run one by one test cases just to avoid any confusion. Okay, let me run this up a minute. See, you can see the all the inputs is being reflected here, which we are providing from the YML file. Okay, you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, all 13 or 14 inputs is being provided from the YML file to validate, to provide as an input data to validate the scenario in the M unit with the mocked API. Okay, you can see all 13 is it's successfully worked here. You can see depending on the error codes which we have configured, it will execute and it will respond back the all the messages or error codes based on the minute execution. Okay, so this is the unit for downstream APIs, and okay, and this is the unit which developed to validate the API kit router. Okay, let me run this one. So you can see that the scenario is the same. Uh, the idea of this M unit to create the M unit that can be reused for the future in case of any kind of expected or unexpected changes in response from the downstream API, or in the error codes which the downstream API is going to respond to the existing API. Like process API is changing any error code that not required to change in a minute, that can be done using the configuration file. Okay, so these all eight error codes which I have defined, that is validating, executing the test this M unit, and validating that how it we are expecting and what we are receiving. Okay, so that is the demo for this unit approach that can be reused instead of writing multiple unit or changing any M unit in case of any future changes for the behavior of the API. Okay, any question on that?
There any question? Perhaps you had some comments in the process. So I mean, this was a really good presentation. Again, it requires the audience to have some idea, some knowledge about how MUnit works. So, s oh, okay. So I want to just ask about the project in itself. So would you be able to share the actual project that you
Sure, Vijay. I have not committed in Git
sure
repository. That
we
is
can connect after and and you can share with me. Then I'll send out an email to everyone who
Definitely.
attended, and they should, yeah,
Sure, DJ.
yeah. So
Okay.
if you share the link or whatever, if it's a if you commit or so to a GitHub or something like that, then I can share that link with
Mm-hmm.
everyone. Yeah, who's attended for sure. Are there any other questions? We'll be getting into the trivia very soon. Are there any question in regards to M unit in itself? Maybe not even because Sadiq is quite knowledgeable on the M unit side. So like, if you had any questions around just you know that you had about M unit in itself, feel free to ask. Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, sure. You can continue sharing your screen, and we'll start off at the Kahoot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Are you sharing your screen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So you guys can use this URL kahoot.it, and you can use this pin to um, join the event. Yep.
Yeah, we'll give it some time for people to join in.
Yep.
If you want to participate, you just go to you can use your mobile. You don't even have to download the app. You just go to kahoot.it, and then you enter the game pin 2131660. And please put your name as well so we can identify who actually won. And then at the end, you would just have to share your email address on the chat for the winners, and we'll take it up from there. We have 9 people, 10. All right. So go in. Any? Oh, we got one more.
Yes. Somebody left.
We currently have just 15 people on the call, so I mean, I'd imagine that it's not going to be more than that, or it's gonna be less than 15 for sure. But we'll just give it one more minute and then we'll start off the game. So please join, participate. All right. I think that is good enough. Sadiq, it's all
Yep.
yours.
Okay. Thanks.
Wow. What is the recommended second stage CI/CD process?
Great. Um, let's go for next question.
Yeah.
Who is the fastest guy? Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Let's.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. Let's go next.
Yeah, so What was the asset type defined while build and publish application to exchange in demo?
Right. Let's see who's the fastest guy.
Okay,
Yeah, Vijay.
BJ, these are quite tricky questions, but good job on the folks who are winning. Oh wow, was it as a semantic version? Okay.
Wait. Let's go for the last question. Who is the guy? Oh,
We got the final one.
yep.
First API instant state in API manager.
Mhm. Let's see
This
who
is
is the winner.
this is quite an interesting. These were quite interesting questions. Like that, definitely would have failed a couple there for sure.
Uh-huh. Congrats, Vijay.
Oh,
Congrats, Minal.
we have three winners: VJ, Tomash, and Emmanuel. Congratulations to the winners. Please put your email right in the chat, and thank you know you know thank you all for participating in this. The questions were were quite something there. Required you to do a little bit of thinking, but the good stuff. Okay, so that was from VJ, and all right. Sadiq, do you have any other thing that you wanted to share?
No, that's it from my side.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, so please, yeah, share your. Thank you, Brittany. So please share your what's it called? Share your email address with me. Um, then the final slide is just again, if you enjoyed the presentation and if you learned something out of this, please feel free to give a kudos to our speaker on LinkedIn or any other. I think LinkedIn is the best place, but give a kudos or something if you really enjoyed it. We also do have some hashtags there, MuleSoft Meetup Winnipeg as well as MuleSoft Meetup. We have an Instagram handle which is not as active, but we'll try to get that. We'll try to make that active. But it's MuleSoft Meetup WPG, and at the end of this presentation, you'll get a survey to fill. Please feel free to suggest topics and what you loved about the presentation or the event in itself, and what you didn't like too well. That way we can improve. And and that's it from my end. I believe I have uh, for the winners. I got your email address, Emmanuel, as well as VJ and Tomash. Again, that concludes this event. We are just right up at the bottom of the hour there. So thank you so much, Sadiq, for taking the time to join and share your knowledge with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Appreciate this. I won't take it lightly. Again, Sadiq, any final words? I guess you're about to go to sleep now.
Thanks, man, for the opportunity, and thanks, guys, to joining here. It's really nice to speak with you guys and share our thoughts and our experience. We definitely will see you again.
Yeah. So for sure, I will. Sadiq, I would wait. I'll wait that email. Sorry, the link, so that I can share the link with the project actually with
Uh huh.
everyone. And again, you don't have to like do this right away, but according to your schedule. And then
Sure,
I'll send a follow up email to everyone who joined, and that way they
sure,
can have the project.
sure. I'll do.
Yeah, awesome. Aside from that, that's it from me, from my end. Thank you everyone for joining. Appreciate it. Congratulations to the winners. Uh, did and Nureg is asking, did winners not win prize this month? I believe they didn't. But so usually, how it works is there's a MuleSoft, the community leaders from on the MuleSoft side will submit the email address and the first and last names of the people who won, and they would take it up from there. So they have in their records the people who have won for the month, and so they'll be able to validate on their end. All right. I don't. Unfortunately, runners up will not be considered. I mean, I guess I can. No, we didn't. I don't have the runner up, but yeah, just the three names that I have, and that's how it's gonna be for now. But that's a good point, Anurag. I think I would notify. I'll notify them. Oh, you put your email. Okay, that's good too. Okay, just in case any other person didn't qualify, I will. Yeah, for sure, I can do that, for sure. Awesome. Okay, thank you all. Enjoy your Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you're joining from. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Sadiq.
Thanks, Manan.
All right, I will stop
Okay.
sharing and I will stop the recording.